Minister Senzo Mchunu releasing the crime statistics for the second quarter of the 24-25 financial year. In the last update, Mchunu revealed that 70 people were killed every day and that there was a reduction in cash-in-transit robberies amidst a range of other information and crime categories. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngobo is at the police headquarters in Parktown this morning and now joins us live. Ziyanda, good morning. Again, we spoke to specialists earlier on about which areas they'd be focusing on, and many people have a different view of what's most important in the crime stats and what they tell us about the anatomy of crime in the country. But it is a big moment and a lot of radical action, I think, expected from the minister this time around. What are the expectations you're hearing where you are?
Well, I can tell you, Iman, that, as the experts have been saying, you're likely to see a decrease in some areas and an increase in some areas. And certainly the fact that the minister is also, doing these updates on a quarterly basis is much welcome. You'll remember that at some stage there was about a 6-month, lag where there was just silence just before the May 29 elections in terms of understanding what the state of crime is. And Iman, someone who is not going to speak necessarily about crime stats, but will give us a reaction to the breaking news about the government dismissing then, not having the police go down into Stilfontein. Atlenda Mathe, the spokesperson for the police, is here. Of course, you cannot scupper your own minister, but just your initial reaction then to the breaking news.
Well, a very good morning and thank you for the opportunity. As the SAPS, we welcome the judgment that has been handed down before the North Gauteng High Court, which dismissed the application by this particular NGO. We have always maintained that there was no violation of any right to life, any right to dignity. We've also always maintained that our operations are being conducted according to Section 205 of the Constitution, which is to prevent, combat, and investigate, crime in South Africa. So we welcome the judgment. Our operations are continuing. We will continue to stand the authority of the state. We will continue to stand static at all these disused and abandoned mine shafts with the view of preventing and stopping the illicit mining activities that are currently taking place. It has always been our view that there is no one that is trapped. All these illegal miners are simply refusing to resurface because, firstly, they are evading arrest. Secondly, we've always maintained that they are heavily armed, and those that resurfaced yesterday actually conceded that indeed they claim that there are Basotho nationals that are heavily armed. For example, they have told us that the food that we have sent down and the water that I've sent down was actually confiscated and was not provided to these illegal miners. So it was against that background that we said we are only going to issue limited supply of maheu, instant porridge and water, and so that they must gather strength and resurface. So we are quite pleased with the judgment of the High Court.
And of course, yes, the minister is going to be revealing the crime stats at 12:30, but these operations then somewhat do bring about optimism, but that's one incident in Stilfontein, but in the communities that people live in, contact crimes, murder. The last time on the 30th of August when the minister, held a briefing, the numbers were staggering, 70 people dying per day. So what other kind of operations are there in place or could be in the pipeline to deal with the everyday crime that society feels?
Well, I obviously can't go into detail on how the crime picture is looking, but I can tell you there's a positive downward trend on the crimes that have been reported, and that is as a result of our hardworking men and women in blue who are dedicated to serving and protecting the people of this country. There are a number of operations that are being conducted, but one that is key is Operation Chanela. We started implementing this particular strategy last year on the 8th of May 2023, and to date, close to 1 million people have been arrested through this particular operation, which includes murderers, rapists, and so on. So we are working hard. Our Safer Festive operations are also in full swing. We are out there. We are stamping the authority of the state. And we would like to thank communities that play a pivotal role in assisting the work of the police, because through their tip-offs, through the information that they share, we are able to collectively stamp the authority of the state and trace those wanted suspects that are wanted on especially serious and violent crime.
All right, Atlenda, I'll leave the other questions that I have for Minister Senzo Mchunu, who will be, of course, conducting that briefing. Lots to talk about. The state of crime intelligence, Iman. She's speaking about communities, giving them tip-offs, but there is still a sense that, well, where are the proactive operations that crime intelligence are supposed to be conducting? If you just think about the Lusikisiki massacre, for an example, and also the coordination within the justice and security cluster. So you have about 1 million arrests, according to Atlenda Mathe. But where are all these people going? The correctional services facilities. So, the coordination between departments and how then, the crime picture is looking overall.
All right, Zianda, thanks for that perspective. And as soon as that event goes live, we'll take you back there.